All right, welcome everyone. We are live. It's a Monday morning, and we are working with the book, The Invocation of Presence. I believe we finished reading chapter 8 last time. Uh, so, so we can either move to chapter 9, or if we have still some discussion left, we can share my screen. Welcome, Nishant. Welcome, Michelle.
Everyone.
So we finished reading chapter 8 pretty much by the end of uh, last week. And if someone has something that they would like to talk about on this chapter, we can do that. Anybody?
We didn't have a exercise, right?
Oh, we did have an exercise. Yes.
We did?
Yes. Yeah,
Oh,
we did.
I
What
forgot.
happened to it?
What was the exercise? No one remembered.
I think it was to come up with a list of stuff that we use
What's
to
that?
invocate our presence. I have my list here.
Go to the last two paragraphs of the chapter, which is right in front of us. As a group, review now all exercises possible remembering factors. Generating a list. Every little work trick you know. Do this group review of exercises and remember in factors periodically. Even notate methods of which you have only heard and about which you know nothing whatever in the practical sense, they may frustrate you into invocation. Geez. So why don't you share, is your document a Word doc or something like that?
No, I have it on my phone actually. I just made a list of things on my notes app.
Okay.
I can read it out loud to you if you want.
Yeah, but doesn't it say generate a list? So is this something that the group should be doing? I mean, could you put up a blank sheet on the screen and then start writing the list out?
Yeah, let's do that. I can start a whiteboard and we can all contribute to it. You can all annotate using your screen as well if you happen to have a touch screen.
All
There you
right.
go. Already on it. Nice.
Well, this is good to know. How did you do that? Whiteboard?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
called a whiteboard.
So first, I would say my number one is AVD readings.
Oh my God, you can't type?
You can.
If you click on the T text,
Oh yeah.
David, yeah, you can.
I'm using my touch. So it's okay. There we go. I made it. So I think Nishant put 3SRB music. I'll add that. Oh, this is fun to use.
Why don't you put a number list, type it in, don't write it. That's
Oh,
too,
there it is, the size, yeah.
yeah.
You can put
Nikhil,
the text box and then you can write. Nikhil.
just do
Yeah,
it.
there.
Yeah, I know you're having fun, but have it on your own time. Put a text box.
Is this when we do something, or is it at the moment? Like if we are in the doing our routine stuff, and what do we do to remember? Is that what it is, the question, or is it?
A group review now all exercise as possible remembering factors.
Yeah. So is it at the during the things we are doing, like routine, normal life things?
Start wherever you want to start. Whatever your
Okay.
brain allows you to start, just start there. No, spell it out. Don't, if you can. There you go.
You guys can type in here as well, I think.
Yeah. And what's the number one is what?
Is that music? It's a 3-step rhythmic breathing. Yeah.
Okay. Beautiful. Okay.
If you can type in here, you can just speak it out loud and I'll type it for you.
Yeah,
That's
because
for
Bernie can't, Bernie is in a public space and he may not be able to type. And who wrote that one?
I did.
What does that mean?
Do you want me to describe this
Well, I
exercise?
mean, these are exercises.
Yeah. So these exercises, they they help me to be more present and invoke my presence.
Yeah, but how are you going to give that as an exercise?
What
I
is
don't
it,
think
Nikhil? Attack at dawn? What is it? Is that a
that's like
technique?
that's like the
Here's,
beachhead aspect that we talked about many times. It
Okay.
comes from the book, the Human Biological Machine, and it talks about um, creating a beachhead in the higher dimension, and you spend just 5 minutes daily uh, in a specific time of the day. You decide a specific time of the day, and then you just for those 5 minutes you do the attack at dawn exercise. Uh,
Hmm.
I don't remember the wordings exactly. Maybe we can go back to the chapter and read it. Maybe that would be beneficial because it's been a while since I have read the literature for that exercise.
but you put it up as an exercise.
Yeah, because I remember doing that. I remember doing this exercise at 5:50 in the morning every day for a few months
It's
when we were doing
yeah,
the live stream.
it's chapter 16 of the book, but but if this list, let's say we come up with a list and you send it out to the rest of the group that couldn't make it today, what are you going to say? Go read the chapter on Attack at Dawn?
No, maybe this list needs to have a heading as to what this particular list is trying to achieve.
it's just all exercise as possible remembering factors. I'm just reading what's in the book. Chapter
So
8.
I guess list of topics. That would be a good heading.
Okay. I guess, see, the popcorn exercise is an actual exercise. We know, I mean, we know what it is. So we actually mean watching the quantum magic videos. Okay.
Also, you're saying describe what to do with it.
Pardon?
So you're saying describe what to do with these exercises? Is that
Well,
what?
I'm just saying that imagine you're giving this list to your roommate. The first four, I think you can say in really easy description what to do. Attack at dawn, it's really hard to describe what the exercise is. How,
Yes.
for instance, let's just hang on, don't erase it, just okay. In our beginning work, this is the chapter abstract on chapter 16 of HBM. In our beginning work, we often attempt to accomplish too much at once. Our efforts are scattered, our energy quickly dissipates. We must discipline ourselves to improve the quality of and potency of our efforts by condensing them at first. So that's just the chapter. So there was something about that. What I'm trying to get to, Nikhil, there was something about that for you that was it was really precious. Okay. Not only did you remember it, but you did it for a few months. So the concept of attack of dawn and achieving a beachhead is that you actually have a inner space that's immutable, however small it might be, and you recall that, you know. Anyway, anybody else have any others? Swati, are you able to speak? I don't know if you're at work or what.
So yeah, I have a couple of them. One is the first one that Nikhil mentioned, 3-step rhythmic breathing. And
Good.
that's really, really helpful. I am doing this I think since 2004, ever since I got in touch with the
Wow.
Mr. T's teachings. And let me just give you like my experience, which is like, I used to work in India, and then whenever like it is like 3-step breathing, it's just like 5 seconds whole breathing process. 3 seconds you inhale, 2 seconds you exhale, and there is a small pause in between, and it's like 1, 2, 3, and 5, 6 you exhale. Now I used to do like you can do watching the like listening to tick tock of the clock. You can do like watching the clock moving, or you can do with the music that is provided by Mr. T. Whenever I used to do like even half an hour a day, it will give you at least 20 moments, 20 spots in the whole day that you thrown back to your presence of the body. It automatically happens. And even those during those like say it now I just got thrown to my presence, and again I do in that moment I start doing 3 SRB for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It will increase those moments of presence throughout the day, and
Yeah,
it was
hang on a
amazing.
second. Hang on, slow down. You said when I do something, it automatically raises the presence, right?
Correct.
What was it that you do that automatically does that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, see, knowingly say in the morning, I set up a clock that I have to do 3 SRB for at least 30
So
minutes.
I
Got
think
it.
Swati
Yeah,
is asking what, like it's a breathing, David.
right.
You breathe at this rhythm.
Okay, so you breathe. It's the when you do that breathing, it wakes you up, and now you know your sense of presence, right?
Right.
Beautiful. Okay.
So,
Takes long time though. I mean, and Swati will can,
That's okay.
initially you may not feel,
but I
but
think
maybe
even
after 10
like,
years.
so one more thing is Mr. T said that before 40s we have lot of souls in our body given by nature in organic body that helps you hold the presence. So I was like very young that time. If I remember, I was 25, 26 that time, and it was like naturally those souls were helping me do that too. But like right now it's little hard for me to hold the presence that often. So that is one more thing, like, he mentioned somewhere about the salts that body has, organic body has to hold, help you hold your presence easily.
Hmm.
And he also mentioned one experiment that when you reach almost at the age of 39 to 40, when it starts depleting those salts, you can have like white onion, like completely like white onion juice, a spoon or 2 spoons in the morning before you start eating anything or drink anything. And that helps you restore all your salts that you have when you are born, or when you are young in the like organic body age wise. So that was one thing he mentioned, and I think that helps. I had that experiment like few years back.
Hmm.
So that is one thing.
Sure.
Second thing, as a part of that process, only yoga processes that is called like pratyahar. Pratyahar is a stage, it's like going back. And right now it's little difficult, but 2 years back, I was exercising, like say any of thoughts click your mind and you start going back to where it originate. You know how it like goes into the chain of thoughts. Say I saw the picture of sofa, oh, this is a beautiful sofa. Then the thought process starts. Okay, where I got it from? Oh, I got it from Gardner White. When did I got? Oh, so 4th July. Oh, 4th July fireworks list. Oh, my daughter really wanted the fireworks for Diwali, and I had a flight. So whenever in that chain, be conscious whenever you start like getting present. If you make some effort, like in daytime, something that I will remember myself in between whenever that thought chain of the thought starts. So whatever stage you get there, try to go back where at exactly that chain process has stopped. So that is going back is the pratyahar, and this is how we go back
Got
to
it.
our
Got
source.
it. And
So
that's
that
what
helps me.
that helped, and that's what his chain of consciousness was like. What you're saying right now, when just before what this the long chain of consciousness, EJ was, oh, and then I listen, and there was several exercises within that chain of consciousness, and that were very good. Um,
So, but one thing to
mhm.
get into the present scene during that change, sometimes, chains of thoughts, like so many episodes pass by and you never realize that you went through that chain of thoughts. But one thing to
Right.
make it present, you have to make an effort somewhere in the nighttime or in the morning. You have to determine, like, make yourself determine that, okay, there should be at least two chain of thought processes in between. I should be conscious or become aware of. I'm going through, like those chain of thoughts is passing through. And that effort somewhere in the daytime when you sit or just talk to yourself about that, and that will help you to get conscious at least once a day. And once you start getting one or twice a day, it automatically start getting those more episodes where you would be aware about
Good.
that. Yeah.
That's okay. So that's a good exercise. Let's see if we can put it into a simple phrase. Okay.
Mhm.
Now, when I'm hearing you say that you have this um, chain of associative thinking, right?
Correct. Yeah.
And then when you have that, it goes from this to this to this to this to this to this. as all of us. I call that the monkey mind. Okay. And to become aware of that chain of associative thinking. Is that what you're saying?
Correct. Yep.
One of the
Exactly.
things you're saying. Okay, good. So that's a very, very good one. Because if you start to do that, you start to actually feel the body sensations of what it's like to be in the associative thinking mind. There's actually a mood and a physical bodily sensation. Okay. So, how about as an exercise? And this is just, I don't know if it's right, but how about this? Become aware of our associative thinking chain, something like that. Is there a better way to say it? Go ahead and type that in, Nikhil.
Yep.
That's a really good one because it happens all the time. And when if left to its own, the mental centrum just goes. It's trying to help us, but it just goes, right?
Correct. Yep. It happens to me all the time.
It happens to all of us, Swati, but her point is it happens to her. She's aware of it in herself, not as a concept, but as an actual awareness of the pattern of associative thinking. Okay? Very good.
I have one more thing, but maybe someone can relate to it, but it is little specific to myself that whenever I get what do you call anxious about something, say maybe sometimes it's work related, it's sometimes related to some of the deadlines coming up, and we all get anxious that, oh, you know what will happen if something will go wrong, or if I will not be able to deliver or achieve whatever has to be done before the deadline. That time, I I think I feel some sensations in my solar plexus.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the time when then my true self or whatever, like real I tells me or pops up saying that, the day I mentioned that this is not the end of the world or something like that. And that time I become conscious of myself and I just said that, okay, I have got into this body to rise in ladder of consciousness. These are all superficial things that I'm doing on. So I get just relax myself and my muscles get relaxed and I got relieved of the tension that has generated there. So those moments I get quite often.
Okay.
So maybe somebody has that thing or some other thing, not the like you don't become anxious or
Okay.
something or the other.
No, this is a good one. So 7 would be become aware of the sensation of anxiety. Is that a way of putting it?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Something like that. Okay.
I would say that one thing for me, whenever I'm anxious, like Swati was saying, maybe a deadline or anything that is making me anxious, I sometimes, just to gain perspective, I think about the last hour of that exercise, and I just
Put
say
it
to
up.
myself, what if,
Put it up.
what what if I die in the next hour? Is this really how bad it seems to be?
So last
That
hour
sometimes.
of death is a critical exercise. Definitely put that in there. And the answer, by the way, Nikhil, is yeah, this is how bad it is. Okay. Um, geez. So is anybody taking the course on what is it? The course with Pat right now on what is she doing?
Oh, she does that Sunday reading, right? Is that a course? I
Well,
think
no, I'm sorry. You're right. There's that, but
LRS course is coming up.
the LRS course. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, oops, Michelle,
That's with
Sorry.
help her
Andrew,
erase
right?
that.
Andrew is doing it.
Yeah, and okay, Andrew's gonna run that thing, huh?
Yeah.
And then maybe. So, if anybody's ever taken that course, were there any exercises in that?
I feel like most the exercise that helped me have to be not a mental exercise, because
Put
that
it
then
down.
it's just
Put it down. Like what?
like this, the music, as Swati said, it's not a
Okay.
mental, it's goes because when Rajan was here, I asked him that this
Sure.
one that I
Hmm.
I I wish to use this to bring the presence of my presence in the present moment. And he said that that is only possible uh, if it's a prospective, not retrospective. Because if it is retrospective, you are
Ah,
bringing the
good.
time in.
He's right. Very
Yeah,
nicely put. Very nicely
yeah.
put.
And the only way to do, I mean, as per him, because he is to do the 3SRB music,
Good.
because that will bring it as a prospective.
So Bernie's saying, for me, it's a pause in whatever you're doing. And you can add that as number 9, Nikhil, and that would be
Yep.
called, in fourth way work, it's called the stop exercise. Whatever you're doing, stop. Very good. Very potent. Okay.
Did we add what Nishant was just saying recently? I think he also had.
It's
Well,
just same.
he's just pointing to number 1. But how about another physical one, Nishant, that might, do you have any other physical ones that work for you?
David, since you brought up the Labyrinth LRS course, I remember dropping the facial mask exercise.
Put it down.
That was
That's a big
that
one.
was
And I think that would be very helpful for Nishant as well. But you have to notice that the facial mask is tightening up, and then you work to drop it. Okay? Very
yeah, and
good.
that's a physical exercise as well.
Oh, it's interesting because I just was tightening my mask when you say that. And I noticed it because you said that and I relaxed it. Thank you.
Yeah. Nice.
It's such
I
a
mean,
little tool, yeah. Very simple tool, but very effective. Thank you.
Super effective. Yeah.
I don't want to generalize the exercise, but for me, self-observation, let's say I'm just stopping at a light and I just have to stay there for a minute until it turns green. I just self-observe myself. Sometimes that definitely brings me out of the sleep and into the present moment a little bit.
Okay, say it in a way that we can all get it.
Self-observation at random times, during random events
Okay,
of
let
the
me
day.
ask you specifically, when you go into self-observation, like right at this second, right? What do you do? What is actually occurring? Right there, that. Try to say it.
Uh, if I want to define it, uh, I'm waking. I'm more awake when I'm observing myself.
How about I turn my attention to
Yeah.
just place my attention on my machine somewhere, one way or another. The emotions. We're going to start calling you B.
Hey B.
Hi.
Okay. Just how about
So if I want to say turning your attention inward, uh,
go there? That's okay. Put that down.
B, since I think you just joined it, so what we're doing is coming up with a list of work tricks that serve as remembering factors. So if you have any, if you see the list here and if you have anything to add, yeah, please go ahead. I think you can type it in here as well.
So she's saying in her comment to voluntarily change your behavior, right? Something like that.
Yeah, sorry, I've got a sore throat, so I'm trying not to talk.
Sure.
But like what I meant to say was, whenever we're trying to do something and say, like for example, you're in a rush and you want to do everything quickly, and then suddenly you feel that, okay, let me go in a slow motion and everything and sense what is giving me that anxiety, so when you're in complete rush, you realize that when you start doing everything slow mo, suddenly the sensation catches up to you.
But
And
the sensation of being in rush acts as a trigger to help you remember yourself.
yes, and the slow motion when you do, and when I start doing slow motion to that, like say I'm in a rush to go pick up the kids from school, and I'm rushing, trying to rush out of the house, suddenly like I'll pause and I'll do everything slowly just to see like what that rush feeling was all about. So when you do the opposite and say, like the facial exercise, the facial mask made me remember, like I didn't know dropping the facial mask, but I got a sense of it. But say when you're tensed and you've got some kind of anxiety or something and you suddenly smile, it just drops that act and it makes you realize, that nothing is so much, worth the trouble. So something like that.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that the the agitation or the whatever it is, that is can give rise to a trigger for self-remembering. You
But
change the behavior, but what I'm saying is you wind up if you see yourself rushing, you suddenly you notice that you're rushing.
Yes.
Self-reflection at that time notices that that is a mechanical behavior. That's a behavior of great mechanicality. That is sleep. It's a wonderful thing to notice that. But it's noticing that that gives rise to the powerful tool of self-observation. Okay? Beautiful. Yeah, and the changing of the behavior helps deepen the understanding of that mechanicality.
Yes, because just when you observe, it's a different scenario. But when you start doing the opposite of what you're doing, then it enhances, I don't know how to put it, but
No, you put it well. I mean, so if you're in that agitation and you change the behavior, suddenly you've encapsulated that mechanicality. You can kind of point to it and say, "Oh, look, there it is."
mm,
And that that is an exercise called um, "I am not that."
oh,
But but in order to exercise that, you have to be able to be aware of it.
okay.
But it's the mechanicality. Part of this is finding the mechanicality itself. Can this become triggers for us to awaken? The answer is yes.
Mm.
So that's a good one. Well, so
How do
put
we
that.
phrase?
How would you
How
write
do
it
we phrase
down?
it?
I would just say modifying or changing the overt mechanical behavior. Maybe just the mechanical behavior. You can take overt out. Have you ever heard of the exercise called parting of the Red Sea?
Not
No.
me. No.
So we're going to have to do practical work on self one of these days, okay?
Yes.
So parting of the Red Sea is, let's say you're talking to somebody, a work colleague or somebody at a store, and they have a really upsetting behavior, okay? And they really kind of irritate the heck out of you. Does anybody ever have that experience ever? Not really, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I do.
sure you
all
do.
the time.
We all do.
You just have
So
to walk around and find somebody.
the second you go outside, right, it's like, so parting of the Red Sea has to do with letting that pass through you, okay? Where you notice their behavior and its effect on you. You do notice it, you don't buffer it, but you just kind of like open to the sensation and allow the sensation. You're just noticing it. You go, oh my gosh, boy, that guy always chews with his mouth full when I'm talking to him. What a pig, you know? But you don't get attached to it. You break your attachment to your normal sense of judgment, in a sense, right? And
So how does that relate to the parting of the Red Sea? The words.
parting of the Red Sea, just how about don't react, just suspend your reaction. Something like that.
So in one of the, I don't remember which book was it that EJ calls it like what is called. I don't know the exact words, but like clearing out the barnacles.
Okay.
Those sea turtles have those barnacles on the
Mhm.
shell, and you just just like clean it out, just remove it because it's feeding off of the turtles. So I think you can remove it with that heat.
The heat.
The heat that is
Yeah, I mean, because when you there's heat coming, right?
Yeah.
There's heat in your machine, and you use that heat to self-reflect.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. How can we put that in a nice little Bhavani, you might want to look at, do you have a copy of Practical Work on Self?
I'm not sure. I'll have to look.
Okay. If you do, look at chapter 9 to expand on your concept. Okay, very good. So, parting the Red Sea is suspend. How about this? Suspend automatic reaction to external influences.
And should I just write parting of the Red Sea over here so that?
Sure, if you would like. Mhm. Hmm.
David, can you repeat the book?
Practical Work on Self.
Yeah, I don't think I have that one.
Okay. All right.
I have the summary of it, I believe.
I didn't know there was a summary. Okay. Good. um, let's say there's something you almost always do, like you pull your ear, you adjust your glasses. When you're sitting with your legs crossed, you go like this with your foot, tap your foot or whatever it is. When you find what I call an automatic kind of meaningless physical manifestation, okay? Like you play with your mustache, or you go like this with your long hair, you like to adjust your hair. Let's say that you find something like that you do in fact do, okay? Another exercise is to make that intentional. So at first we do it and suddenly we're brushing our hair back, or suddenly we're adjusting our glasses or pulling on our ear or other horrible habits we might have, right? So don't stop them, but make them intentional. It's like, now I'm going to pull on my ear. Okay. So you're mimicking the automaticity of it, but you're taking it to the next level. Just another thought.
That's
So how
beautiful.
yeah, there is
Okay.
Yeah. Because I noticed like I've just started doing that, like especially when the drums are beating and you suddenly see your feet are tapping and you don't stop it, but you just let the mechanicality of the body happen, and you just notice it without being a part of it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Without being identified with it.
Yes.
Okay.
And when you mentioned that, I think I recall the first exercise I was given about the habits, to do something with the other hand. Like, say, if you're doing something with the hand and you have a habit, you start chopping with the left hand and you see, because then you're all the mechanicality of the right hand, you suddenly notice it, how difficult, or you everything about the grip and holding a carrot or whatever it is, you start noticing that how different it is with the other hand, and you relearn how to do it like a baby,
It becomes intentional.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So
Good. You can put that down too. Do an activity with the non-dominant hand or side, like
yeah.
whatever. I'm not sure the right words yet. Okay. So just say, do it with the opposite hand. Okay. Do activity with the opposite hand. Okay. So EJ is doing a lot of discussion, writing about what is it, the God mind being in what's a better way of
God,
putting it?
Godhead
What did you
state,
say?
God
Godhead
state.
God state, right? So have you ever tried to inject into the space that you're in, like it could be even this space, but you suddenly realize that this is a dream? That you literally like drive that into the space. This is a dream too. What we're doing right now, this second, is a dream. I mean, if you look at it from 100 years from now, let's say some guy comes on and is listening to this recording 100 years from now, some of us will be dead, but
Some
and
of us.
well, I mean, come on, you're a tough one. and and Bob, and he's really young, okay? So and Claude will figure out a way that digital recordings can subsist into the next century, someone's listening to this and we're putting together this class for that person. See what I'm saying? Your brain just goes. How about this is a dream? This is a dream exercise. Parenthesis. No, this is a dream exercise. I'm sorry.
Is this okay?
Okay, and then go dash or just say, and put in parenthesis at the end of the word exercise, put a parenthesis.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a colon, but
Yeah.
parents, and then say, am I dreaming?
I actually see it that I'm a visitor. So
Nice.
that is one thing, like anytime I see mountains or the sun, moon, stars around me, suddenly there's this feeling that absorb it as much as you can. You may not come back on this earth again. You know, that kind of a feeling that just take in as much as you can in this life. So you just visiting this planet. So yeah, not a dream, but like for me, it's I'm a visitor. That's a feeling I get.
It's a great way of putting it. We are visitors for just a moment.
Yeah.
Go ahead and put that down. I am a visitor exercise. I like that.
Yeah, we've got quite a big list over here.
And also adding to the dream exercise, if we keep reminding ourselves that this is just a moment, like say if you're happy, excited, angry, everything, you just say this is a passing moment, you know, so not to get too attached to it, but to constantly remind yourself. Like when you talked about the dream exercise, I thought of that one because everything is a passing moment. So nothing is going to stay permanent, you know, something like that. So then you're not too attached to it.
So I am, that just expand, or do you want to put that as a separate exercise, or it's just part of this as a dream? It's kind of separate, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess it'll be separate. Or yeah, so maybe we could add something like this is just a passing moment.
Good. That's nice. Okay. I would like, what you can do is put this into an email, Nikhil, if you'd like.
Yeah.
But I'd like to give you a challenge personally. To take your attack at dawn number 5 and see if you can simplify it it had a lot of meaning for you. And if you can simplify it for others, that might be helpful to everybody, okay? You don't need to do it. You can just copy this and send out an email, but then it might help you as well, okay?
Since this is a whiteboard, everyone gets an email with this document at the end of the meeting, and they
Oh.
can, go back to this, edit it, add, subtract.
Oh, okay.
Can somebody elaborate on the attack at dawn? I don't think I was there.
Well, that's what I was saying is that I think we'd like to have that expanded.
So you know what? Take a stab at it, and I'll try to simplify this, and I'll email you, Bhavini. How about that?
Okay.
It's one of the chapters in HBM, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Beautiful. Well, this is not bad, Hame. We got a list. We have something for our fellow parishioners.
Yeah, quite.
Send
it was
out to
very
everybody.
to be honest.
But send it out to everybody that has come, or your whole list, and that way, and you can say, please add to this if you'd like.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
I'll send it out to the big group and see if somebody else wants to add as well.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if the sensing was included. Like, say, if you're eating food or something, just sensing the wind, I don't know if that's included, but yeah.
Yeah, maybe that would be a good thing to add to the list, Bhavini.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll send it out to you guys.
Okay.
Great.
All right. Yeah, that was a fantastic session. Yeah.
Mm.
Let's meet again next week on Monday.
I look
Hey,
forward to it.
Michelle.
Yeah.
Okay, thank
All right.
you.
See you guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Nikki.